Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Imran Riaz Khan to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Imran Riaz Khan's words. Says, Donald Trump has issued a threat and a warning. He has warned the citizens of Iran, specifically saying that Tehran should be evacuated. I will present his statement and explain the reasons behind it. Actually, Donald Trump was not in the United States. He was attending the G7 summit, a meeting of powerful countries including America, the United Kingdom, Canada, Italy, France, Germany and Japan. These nations gather to make critical global decisions. This summit took place in Canada. Trump cut short his visit, returned urgently to the United States, and is now participating in important meetings concerning the Middle East situation, which is on the brink of war. Trump's first statement was highly aggressive. He warned Iranian citizens to evacuate Tehran. On social media, he reiterated that Iran should have signed the nuclear deal. He had said this multiple times, but Iran did not comply. He called the loss of human lives shameful and firmly stated, Iran will not be allowed to obtain nuclear weapons. He emphasized that everyone must evacuate Tehran immediately. Trump had already mentioned this at the G7, expressing his desire to ensure Iran does not possess nuclear weapons, and he even predicted that Iran would eventually sign the deal. After Trump's statement, we saw scenes of Tehran being evacuated. Even before this, people were leaving. As in times of war, civilians tend to flee major cities and head to rural areas where the risk of bombing is lower. Governments often initiate evacuation procedures, especially in important or high-risk areas. This statement caused panic, and on the other hand, China reportedly instructed its citizens to urgently leave Israel due to severe missile attacks. Iran and Israel are currently exchanging missile strikes. Israeli media, like the Times of Israel, Haaretz and others, are reporting that the United States might soon join the war, or a ceasefire may be enforced. One of the two will happen. While Iran's retaliatory strikes paint one picture, the backdoor diplomacy suggests another. China's foreign ministry spokesperson issued a statement saying, "We reject any action that undermines Iran's sovereignty and increases tensions in the region. We are deeply concerned about the Middle East situation." Another major development, a joint statement has been released by 21 Muslim countries, including Pakistan, strongly condemning Israeli aggression on Iran. The countries involved are Pakistan, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, Egypt, Jordan, Algeria, Bahrain, Brunei, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Turkey, Oman, United Arab Emirates, among others. Notably absent from the statement are Syria, which has supported Israel recently, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Malaysia and Afghanistan at the time of reporting. Some Central Asian Muslim countries have not issued statements yet, but they may join later. This unity among Muslim countries is encouraging for Iran. It shows solidarity, although for Israel, this situation is fueling further energy and aggression. Missile attacks from both sides continue. Iranian civilians and officials have suffered casualties. One notable incident was during a live broadcast by Sahar Emami, a female anchor on Iranian state TV. A loud explosion interrupted the broadcast. Lights went out, debris fell, and she had to leave abruptly, but she returned later to resume the broadcast, a sign of resilience and bravery. Iran is now launching intense and frequent attacks on Israel, as reported by both Israeli and global media. These are honestly unprecedented in the past 50 years, with strikes on oil fields, energy plants, and particularly a nuclear power plant in Haifa, which sustained heavy damage and massive explosions. The Middle East has seen multiple conflicts, Iraq, Libya, Syria, Beirut, and so on, but news of Israeli casualties often garners greater global attention, whereas regional suffering gets sidelined. Iran is intensifying its attacks day by day, possibly as part of a deliberate strategy to gradually escalate pressure. Iranian security forces had earlier said, "We will turn this night into day for Israel." And indeed, waves of missile strikes were launched throughout the night, targeting energy infrastructure and causing widespread devastation. Iran still claims it has powerful weapons it hasn't yet used but may deploy in the future. So saying that Iran is relentlessly attacking would not be incorrect. Now, what does Trump's warning to evacuate Tehran imply? He wants to apply extreme pressure on Iran to sign the nuclear deal. Even if Iran signs, its growing power will continue to challenge Israel. Until the Palestine issue is resolved, peace cannot prevail in this region. The core conflict lies between Palestine and Israel. If Palestinians are granted their legitimate rights, peace could return to the region. Otherwise, continued expansionist plans by Israel, as seen in maps circulated globally, will keep this area in perpetual conflict. Around 3,000 years ago, or even earlier, they claimed that the land was theirs, that it was taken from them, that they were displaced, and now they are here to reclaim it. This same claim is also made by Muslims regarding this land. Palestinians have a very strong claim that they are the rightful owners of this land and that they too were displaced from it. So this is the very conflict that the world has not been able to resolve. And until it is resolved, this region will continue to sit on a powder keg. A small spark can ignite a major fire, just like the one currently blazing in Israel. The current situation in Israel is unprecedented, never seen or heard before. People are rapidly evacuating. In war-torn areas, residents are fleeing. Just as people are leaving Tehran or major cities in Iran, similarly, people are leaving Israel too. At several airports, scenes are visible of Israeli citizens disembarking, and some are trying to leave by sea. There's a region near Cyprus, a small country with some areas under Turkish control and some under Greek control, where people are trying to flee on boats. Boat owners are charging huge sums. Others are attempting to escape by land, and those who help facilitate these escapes are also making huge profits. In this scenario, many are profiting. War, as they say, is a highly lucrative business. People make fortunes from it. People are trying to flee both by water and land from war zones. Scenes from Iran also show long lines of cars heading out of the cities. The Iranian foreign minister made an important statement. This statement gives insight into Iran's current thinking. He said that Iran has never abandoned the path of dialogue. They have always favored negotiations. But currently, the focus is on confronting aggression. That is, they are defending against aggression and haven't shied away from negotiations. Iran's foreign minister Abbas Araghchi said that Iran is serious about diplomacy and has never abandoned talks. But for now, the priority is confronting Israeli aggression. According to AFP, Iran's foreign minister has contacted his counterparts in France, the UK and Germany. These are the three countries that previously offered to mediate and called for a ceasefire. Iran informed them that it has never rejected talks but is currently focused on confronting aggression. The foreign ministers of France, Germany and the United Kingdom emphasized returning to diplomacy and, avoiding any further escalation. They urged Iran to return to negotiations without preconditions and to refrain from any uncalculated actions against Western interests. Earlier, the Iranian foreign minister also posted on Twitter saying that if President Donald Trump is serious about diplomacy and truly wants to stop this war, then his upcoming actions will be crucial. He said Israel must be made to stop its aggression and, until the military attacks against Iran cease completely, Iran will continue to retaliate. He also made a significant claim about the United States and Israel. He said that a single phone call from Washington is enough to silence someone like Netanyahu. Such an action could perhaps pave the way back to diplomacy. Iran is saying, we're ready to talk, sit with us, let's resolve the issue, but first, Israel must be restrained. Only if Israel stops its attacks will Iran stop retaliating. As long as Israel continues its strikes, Iran will also continue with full force. Iran has also made another claim, that they have shot down a fourth F-35 fighter jet using their air defense systems. If these F-35s are indeed being shot down, this is a major development. It's no small matter. These are United States-made fifth-generation jets, considered among the best. If Iran has downed 4 of them, it becomes the first country to have done so. Iran has subtly suggested that it believes the United States is behind this, and that if the United States tells Netanyahu to call a ceasefire, he will obey, and the war will stop immediately. Iran repeatedly emphasizes that the United States has that much influence. Can the United States attack Iran alongside Israel? Yes, it's possible. Anything can happen in war, alliances can shift. But for such action, the United States would also have to pay a price. Some American defense experts have said that if the United States attacks Iran, it will come at a cost to American troops and assets, as Iran will retaliate. They could strike United States naval fleets and create a new front, causing a completely new situation to emerge. Now, in such a situation, it's important to see where the neighboring countries stand. When the United States entered Afghanistan, Russia was broken up, China was neutral, Pakistan stood with America, India stood with America, and Iran stayed out. Turkey, being a NATO member, was already aligned. Central Asian countries didn't support Afghanistan either. That's why it was easy for the United States to invade with NATO support. But in Iran's case, it's different. Central Asia and Russia are unlikely to support an attack on Iran. Countries bordering Iran like Azerbaijan and Turkmenistan are unlikely to give the United States space. Turkey has already issued statements opposing the war. Iraq, which also borders Iran, has issued a statement too. The 6 countries across the Persian Gulf, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Oman, Saudi Arabia and Yemen, have all stood with Iran. Given this alignment, it seems unlikely the United States will find major regional support to attack Iran. India has also invested in Chabahar port in Iran, so it is unlikely to take part in any conflict against Iran. Pakistan, too, would be under immense pressure and may not allow its land to be used against Iran. So this won't be as easy as the Afghanistan invasion was, especially when Iran has not directly attacked the United States or its interests. Iran responded only after being attacked, specifically by Israel. Now, the situation has escalated into what seems like an active war. Israel is firing missiles into Iran and using its air force. Iran, which lacks a strong air force, is relying on its missiles and air defense systems. Iran has vast missile arsenals and entire underground missile cities, allowing them to sustain prolonged attacks. The Al-Qassam Brigade made an important claim. They stated that in the city of Khan Yunis in Gaza, Israeli soldiers entered a building and they blew it up, killing and injuring Israeli troops. This news has come from there. Another news update came from America, and it's not good for Pakistan's military establishment. Protests against General Asim Munir are ongoing in the United States, something that has never happened before against a Pakistani army chief, or likely any army chief anywhere. People protested directly in front of him, shouting slogans as his convoy passed by. When he got out of his car, the protests intensified. Protesters used harsh language, which I won't repeat here. Later, when he entered a hotel, voices could still be heard from inside as protesters shouted from outside. Inside, he was being welcomed, flowers were thrown, but outside the atmosphere was extremely tense. This is a very unusual situation. Perhaps the first time any Pakistani army chief has faced such protests abroad. I also saw that some overseas Pakistanis had parked trucks outside the hotel, displaying visuals and messages against Asim Munir's visit. They were calling for civilian supremacy and demanding an end to Pakistan's undeclared martial law. These protests and visuals are extremely distressing for any army chief. No one would be happy to see such images. This is the first time something like this has happened in America, involving a Pakistani army chief. Based on the voices and speech patterns in the videos, it's clear that these were overseas Pakistanis and they protested strongly. That wraps up our translation of Imran Riaz Khan's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.